What's up, you guys? We're back again today. Still working on the F250. And today we're gonna work on getting the frame rails boxed in right there, and then I might make the cross member that goes up, across, and then down for the cab mounts today. I don't know how far I'll get today, so without further ado, let's get into it. So everybody seems to have their own way of making templates in order to cut a piece of box steel to box in that place right there. A lot of people like to use ram board, clear sheeting, cardboard. Some people like to use tape, and that's what I like to use. I like to use tape just because, for me, I find it the most easiest because it sticks to everything, and you can just draw on it pretty easily, and then you can kind of if your fingers are dirty like mine are always, because I'm always working on something, you can kind of mark the edge, or it's just like you cutting a gasket. You can tap the outer edge with a hammer and get a nice cut like that. So basically it gets you really close to your final product for the piece you need to cut. And then once the piece is cut, then you can refine it with the flap disc and all that on the belt sander. It gets you there a lot faster, in my opinion. It's a rough trace, like I said, but for me it's good because it sticks. It's tape, so I can just slap that on a piece of metal and stick to it, and then I can cut out with the the death wheel and get that shape, and it'll be the same for the other side. It's mirrored. So for me, I just find this to be the easiest method. So let's go cut something. Also, I know I said in the previous video that I might cut it out on the CNC plasma table. Thing is, when I recorded that video, I had just mailed the plasma cutter back out to the manufacturer to get warranty repair. I had something going on with it, so it's taking a little longer than I expected. So rather than wait for it to show up, I'm gonna have to kick it old school and just cut it out by hand, unfortunately. But as the video goes through and it starts wanting to show off a little bit more, I'll and my plasma table's back up and running. I'll take you along and show you some of the cool stuff that can be done. All right, let's cut this out and get sparks everywhere and metal debris all up my nose. Yeah. There's my piece. You can really, it's up to you. You can normally use the old tape template for the other piece, or if this one fits decent enough, this will be more accurate, especially since it's out of steel. You can just trace it on your next piece for the other side. Just make sure you mirror it. So let's go see how this bad boy fits. Looking pretty good so far. Just need to take it over to the folder and put a little bend in it. So, be right back. Actually, before I fold it, I probably should go test on the other side, because once I fold it, you know, making a template from it's going to be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to go check the other side. See, well, I'm glad I checked it, because the other side is, I guess Ford did not make it mirrored. So it's just a slight, like a little bit bigger. So, you know what we'll do, we'll just get some tape, do the same thing I did to this side, and then just, you know, make it known from that side. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to go fold this, and I'll be right back. Normally, if you guess on the fold, you normally takes a couple times, but first shot, got it on there. You know, it went in the spot like it had eyes. All right, let's go to the other side, and we'll get y'all marked out on the template and go from there. So I got her all cut. So we're gonna go over there and test fit it. I would say hopefully it fits, but there should be no reason why it shouldn't fit. Sweet. So I just gotta go put a fold in it again like the other side, and then these bad boys will be ready to be tacked on and then glued in for good. So be right back. Alright, put a little bit too much of a bend on that one, but that's okay, because when I go tack it in, I'll be able to knock her back in place. Alright, let me get the welder out, start burning this bad boy into place. Normally on something like this I would pull out the TIG welder, but I'm out of gas. Out of gas means no TIG welding. So when I'm done being lazy to go to the store, I'll go get some gas. But for right now, we're gonna just MIG these bad boys on. You know, the embarrassing Ford welds were MIG welded by a machine, so Same process, but might look better, and I'm not a machine. You know, welding on frames is not a very comfortable thing to do versus doing it on the table. But got that side done besides the bottom side. Like I said previously, once I have it, the other side boxed in, then I can be able to lift the frame up comfortably without, you know, it flexing or bending because it wasn't fully welded. And then I can just blast all the bottom sides. So now that side's done, I'm going to go work on the other side and get that all burned in. So let's go over there. Like that, another thing ticked off the list. You know, it's about an hour's worth of work right there. So I think I'm going to continue. I'm going to do that mount that goes underneath the cab. You know, I went and picked up some steel. You can probably see it right there. You know, some long stuff. It was on in the remnant pile at the local metal yard, so I had to get it all. Never have too much steel when you're building old crusty trucks. Alright, so let me reset up and we'll get into making that cross member for that goes underneath the cab. So, be back. round welds ever, but since the cab has to sit flat on this piece, that means that the weld on this edge would keep the cab from sitting flat. So didn't really have a choice in the matter, so I went ahead and made this, you know, kind of uniform, make it look like it's one piece. But you know, as the underside, I mean, you can see right there, you know, some good, nice, beautiful welds there. So, you know, to get in here and to grind this would make it look worse than just leaving it. So, let's keep a little bit of pretty weld in there, a little bit of jewelry. So, we'll put this back on the trip. Maybe tack weld it on there. And see what I'm about to do next. I got that where I like it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just tack weld it in and then lift the body back up and take one more look at it. But before I tack it in, I'm gonna hit it with the measuring tape, make sure it's square on the frame, even though where I marked the cab to the frame before it still lines up, so that means that this cab's still square, and that cross member was square to the cab, so it should still be square. But I'll go ahead and triple check that before I tack it. And then once I tack it, then I'll pull the cab up like I said, and then go from there. So I don't know if I'm going to burn it all the way in or if I'm just going to tack it once the cab's up. So anyways, let me do it.